Thank you for a beautiful discussion. My question would be to you, those of you who know about Auroville. You spoke about the three principles of teaching. And then I look at Auroville, which came far after those beautiful three principles, perhaps after 50 years, no? And here we are with these three principles, and we have a cultural zone dedicated for it. And then I look at it, what's the point of having a school then? If the entire, taking a cue from what you said finally, a learning community, if we are ourselves a learning community, and each one of us are pursuing knowledge, education, all our life, perfection, then why dedicate a particular place wherein invariably you have people, perhaps they come join the school with right aspiration, slowly as time progresses they lose touch with practice, more and more they are academic. Why didn't mother think of having industrial zone, which is a place of karma, work, and have children there itself somewhere, wherein they learn by seeing, by doing? Why dedicate a space in your view? And if I may also ask you a addendum, sorry, in ashram, in Auroville we know that people join anytime and leave anytime. And it becomes all the more difficult because when you're working with somebody, a child from early age, and also with the parents, rightly he said it's a triangle, it's not just children. And then if you have somebody who just joins 11th grader, a 15-year-old or 16-year-old, and then we have to work with that dynamic. I believe in ashram that's not a challenge. You work with the young age. How do you see we can still bring the free progress and keep the spirit alive, even while allowing freely people to join anytime?
Lakshi, very nice question. But I would ask you that when Sri Aurobindo is giving these principles, you can't be stuck on the first principle. The second principle is that is the inner nature being consulted. So I would ask you the question that in this community, how many people are consulting their inner nature? And are they, so if they are, then it's the most wonderful place for children to be. It's okay. Then there'd be homeschools. Every family or every community of Auroville can have, little spaces where, as you said, even in the industrial zone, children can be. But all those who are working in the industrial zone, or it could be the agricultural zone, or it could be any zone, are they living with the psychic? Because as mother said, so now you're going to ask me that is everybody in the ashram school living with their psychic being, or is everybody? But that is the aspiration. So at least in a particular space where there is an aspiration to live. And if everyone, mother actually had a dream, right? The dream is one of our documents in Auroville. So what does she say? I got these words just for you. It's beautiful. There should be somewhere on earth a place where the needs of the spirit and the concern for progress would take precedence over the satisfaction of desires and passions, the search for pleasure and material enjoyment. So have we gone beyond this in many ways? Like as Arvind said about art, she actually said what Sri Aurobindo said when he wrote, he was not an artist, right? He wrote The National Value of Art, again the essays on art, where he talks about what is the first function of art. The first function of art is to develop the aesthetics. That's what she said. To the beauty and to feel. Then she went on to the second function. It develops the refinery. The more and more we are in the world of art, we look at art, we look at dance, we listen to music. It brings a certain refinery into our character, isn't it? We become more refined. Then somebody is playing some very crude music or doing something crude. It doesn't suit. Hey, what are you doing? I don't want to be with that person, right? But then he says those two functions are not important. Then the third function is the most important. If art does not bring you to your spiritual self, he said it is no art. If the art is not helping the artist to go to his spirituality and to go to the reality behind the stones, behind the trees, behind the earth, he says, what is that? Are you looking at that? If you're not, then that is again, so that is the third function of art, and he says the only real function. But for that, we have to go through all the first and the second. We cannot bypass that. But at the same time, imagine if a facilitator who has felt that and who always also immerses the child with the third function from the very beginning. Isn't that so beautiful? That is the place where children should be now, whether it is a place of cement and concrete or whether it is any place. It could be a home, it could be a community, doesn't matter. It could be under a tree. It really doesn't matter. But so there she says, in this place children will be able to grow and develop integrally without losing contact with their souls. This is the most important thing, ne? To go beyond the ego-based consciousness and to make predominantly a soul-based education. So I would ask every adult, are you practicing that? Then we can have children all over. Do not talk that if you're not practicing that. So that is the only thing that I would say. Thanks.